Welcome to the Executive Dialogue, coming to you from the stable of Maritime TV Africa. The Executive Dialogue is a program where we interview and speak to executives, regulators, and policymakers within the marine and blue economy in Africa. Today, we're coming to you all the way from Lokoja, the headquarters of the National Inland Waterways Authority in Nigeria, and we'll be speaking with the managing director of the establishment in the person of Mr. Bola Oyebamiji. Join me as I welcome you to the show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Ezinne, for having me.
We just want to speak to you on what has happened since you assumed office, just to know the status of things within Nigeria.
Thank you for having me. Let me first tell you that I have the highest regard for the press and journalists, and I'm happy to have you around today. I have the opportunity of being the MD of National Inland Waterways, and it has been fantastic. The experience has been very fantastic. My management team, they have been wonderful. They have been cooperating, they have been collaborating, and we have a mission, and we have a vision, and they've key into it. And we have driven the organizations to a level that can be compared internationally with any similar organization or agencies in the world.
That's beautiful to know, sir. While you were speaking, you mentioned your vision, and that takes me to the next question, which really is what's the focus of your administration is? Where are you looking at moving Niwa to?
What my focus immediately I started my journey here is safety, and safety, especially on our waterways. In the past, we have recorded a lot of boat mishaps, and this occurrence is so bad that Niwa's name has been written. These are in the bad book, especially among the journalists, the maritime journalists. Well, at the same time, we have reduced drastically that mishap. However, the moment, no matter what gain you have in Niwa, the moment you have a mishap, it's rubbish all the gain. So my focus is on safety, just like I said, and it's on safety, especially on our inland waterways.
It's good to know that you're prioritizing the human lives that traverse our waters, as well as cargo and crew. But I know in recent times there's been a lot of campaign sensitization, especially of coastal and riverine communities by Niwa. Could you let us into some of these campaigns? Where have you been? What has been the experience so far? I also recall that Niwa actually gave out life jackets in some of these communities. What has that experience been so far?
Well, when I came on board, what we did first was to be sure that the outstanding transportation code, which has been outstanding for about 9 years, we set our machinery on motions, we work on it, and we got the transportation code gazetted. And immediately we gazette the transportation code, we moved immediately into actions. What do? We look at what are the risks, what are the equipment that we need to encourage, to enrich, and to make sure that we have safety on our inner waterways. We acquired and commissioned about 50 watercrafts to move around, to patrol on our waterways, to make sure that we enforce the transportation code. We have achieved so much on safety campaigns, especially on all riverine areas. We have 27 area offices, and from that 27 area offices, we have carried our campaign our safety campaign to all the 27 area offices. And it's just not static. It is a continuous thing. We have the local jingles in the local language on the radios and on the televisions so that people will not go and commit self-suicide. And if I can share my experience with you, this has worked so much because we included the traditional rulers who are our ambassadors, and they have collaborated with us effectively and efficiently. And this has reduced both mishaps. If we look at the statistics from 2021 to date, we have achieved about 72% reduction in both mishaps. And this is not just overemphasized, but it was because of the establishment of the water marshals who enforced our code and the campaign. And the campaign is a continuous one, just like I said, we'll continue, Aliza, to do it. As I'm speaking to you, I have about 3 or 4 states doing that sensitization, Aliza, campaign, so that people will know that it is important, one, not to travel overnight, one, to wear life jackets. And if I have to expand on life jackets, we have provided over 70,000 life jackets in the last 2 years. Of recent, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Dr. Adegboyega Oyetola, went around, Aliza, to 12 states to provide 3,500 life jackets so that our people can be secured. Peradventure, we have an accident or a mishap or something, Aliza, that can obstruct the boat on our waterways. So we have done so much about that, and the effect is that we have seen the reduction. And we'll continue to do more until we have reduced drastically the issue of boat mishaps in our waterways. And we have the establishment of water marshals. Initially, we commissioned 80 of them. And after that, we have to increase the 80 to 350 when we discover that the need arises. But the unfortunate thing is that the water marshals, they are not empowered so much to curb the boat mishap, especially to enforce our transportation code. That is why we are clamoring for Coast Guard, which is at the National Assembly for now. And we still want to appeal to the National Assembly and the federal government to establish this Coast Guard so that our waterways will be managed and our code will be enforced adequately.
So when you began to work on with the water marshals, was the focus for them to take on the role of a coast guard? If yes, what are the credentials? What did you look out for before picking each one of them?
What the functions or the roles of water marshals are actually not to take over the works of coast marshals, or what do we call it? Coast guards. Coast guards are people that man the inland waterways in other countries, while the Navy mans the international waters, right? And they will be fully armed. Our water marshals are not armed. And we have an experience when there was a time in Niger State when the water marshal was trying to enforce overloading, and the guy was apprehended and Aliza thrown into the water. So if Coast Guard are properly established in this country, they are the one that can man and enforce our water codes. So it's not, but for us, for the meantime, that's a step that we have never recorded before. So what we think is just, since we have the code, so we must have people that will enforce the code minimally and maximally according to their own strength.
I agree, but then of course the water guards or the water marshals, it's a very laudable project, and I'm sure that in some ways it must have contributed to some level of safety or sensitization in communities? Would you want to speak to that?
Yeah, they have done that. They have done that, and we actually have achieved so much on that.
Like setting the code, looking at what the penalty is for offenders. You see things like figures like a 10,000 naira fine for people who didn't register in the vessels, or the 20,000 naira fine for people who have overloaded, their boats. Do you think those punishments or those penalties are punishment enough for offenders? Or should we be looking at a situation where we're going to be reviewing our code to accommodate, punishments that would actually serve as deterrent people?
Yeah, thank you. That's a good one. Don't forget that I said that code was outstanding for about 9 years. So when we came on board, it was a bit late for us to review. What we want is just to have something that will serve as a guide for us to run and take perfect control of the waterways. However, that code is not meant for punitive. What we want is a book, a guide that will make us to have a total control and enforcement of the waterways, which of course we have. And I can tell you there is no book that is static. We will always review, and if it is necessary for us to upgrade, we'll do that. But let me tell you, if there is a time we have at least to enforce a criminal at least activities on that waterways, we'll have to push that to a level of the police that can prosecute and that have a jurisdiction to do that. So the code specified and give us the authority to do that.
So, sir, looking at the data available for areas where both mishaps had happened, we've seen that Niger and Kebbi State have topped the charts. A few occasions you've had it happen in the cosmopolitan areas like Lagos or Port Harcourt. What would you say is the reason why Nigerians still won't keep to the rules? For example, wearing the light jacket, not traveling at night. What is the exact problem?
What I observed personally is naturally, and if you go back to the management theories and models, see, we have a lot of leadership styles, but the one that works effectively and efficiently is classical theories. And what state classical theory states? That human beings need to be enforced to get the best out of them, that they won't listen at the first instance, but you need to enforce them to agree to key into at least whatever your book or your vision is. So that's why it is important that we need to, but we don't even go into the classical theory. What even we adopted was the situational approach, which of course means that we need to morally them, we need to sensitize, we need to let them see lessons why they should wear life jackets, why they should not travel overnight, why they should not at least overcrowd the boats at least for their own safety. So we did that one a lot, and to again we will tell as much as possible to let them know that there is a law here, there is a book that specifies that if you do this, this is the penal charge. So automatically, but majorly, what I want to let you know is that we are more of moralizing them, conversing to them, why it is important for them to adhere strictly to that rule than punitive. But up to now, we still have at least a lot of them. Let me tell you, there was a mishap in Niger State, and the marshals that was stationed in that environment knew it was a market day, a day before the market day, and the man knew definitely that they would travel at least overloaded with farm product, and human beings. And the guy changed the boats, But unfortunately, in midnight, they removed, at least at the boats, they went through the creek that were not navigable. And eventually, there was a problem. There was a mishap. And it was a big one. So most times you see that's why we said it is important that we need to continue to sensitize our people why they should not go and commit a self-suicide. So the people will continue at least at the job, but we will not relent until we achieve the best, especially and safety on our waterways.
Thank you, sir. It's really quite commendable that your administration is taking up the charge of keeping Nigerians safe and doing that wholeheartedly. But I'm sure there are other projects that your administration is also embarking on. We had jetties all over the nation. We have boats, and the COPE talks about standardization of boats and all that. You could let us into some of the other projects you've been doing so far.
Thank you. We when I came on board, the first thing we did was to look at the staff and we work on re-engineering the staff. We re-engineer, we look at the welfare package, and we did our best. And I'm telling you that we have the best relationship with the staff. Our staff are so happy because of what we have done. And our staff, you can be proud of Niwa staff like before. Now, when you see them, you see a happy staff. You see a staff that are highly motivated. We did that, and we look at what we can do. We go into the medical welfare. We have a clinic for them. We equip it with modern equipment, with medicines and drugs, and with professionals. And that is running, and it's running perfectly well. We have to erect an administrative building, which of course accommodates them, not the one that was there. These are when our forefathers was running, and these are the Inland Waterways Department. So now apart from that again, we actually acquired a lot of watercrafts to take perfect control of the waterways. We have ambulances, that is both ambulances. We have ones that can scan the bed of the water so that if there are logs, if there are wrecks, so that we have deployed a lot of boys.
Have you dredged since?
No, we haven't. We have done maintenance dredging, but not capital dredging. So just to give at least to make our water navigable.
Thank you very much, sir, for being with us on the show today. And it's quite insightful what we've learned that you're doing. We wish to say keep up the good work. Looking forward to having more conversations with you in future.
Thank you so much.
We've been speaking with Mr. Bola Oyebamiji, who is the Managing Director, National Inland Waterways Authority. And we hope you really had fun listening to him. We hope it was insightful and that you've learned at least what the Nigerian government is doing to ensure the safety of lives and property on our waterways. Until next time, when Maritime TV Africa comes your way again with the Executive Dialogue, my name is Ezinne Azunna, your host. Bye-bye.